Hi everyone, I'm Colleen. Welcome back to my channel, Colleen Medley Makes. If you enjoy DIY and home decor content, as well as insights from living car-free in Southern California, hit that subscribe button to follow along. I currently live with my partner in the South Bay of Los Angeles, and we're a car-free household. If you want to hear more about how we made that decision, check out my previous video about 5 considerations to make when deciding to go car-free. In today's video, I'm going to outline how much I spent on transportation last month without a car. Now, the amount that I spend on transportation each month does fluctuate depending on what's going on in my schedule, and May's total actually ended up being a little bit higher than average, but I'll get into why that might be and talk about the average I've spent per month so far this year later on in the video. I also want to note that with some of these costs, I was traveling with my partner, so for the purposes of my budget, I've allocated just my portion of the cost. Okay, let's get into how much I spent in May. At the beginning of the month, my partner and I took the bus to go on some errands, and that fare cost $1.75. We then decided to take an Uber back from those errands since we had some items that we were carrying, and that was $12.78, which I split with my partner, so my portion was $6.39. During that week, I also had some other errands and appointments, which I intentionally booked in close proximity to where we live so that I was within walking distance. The following weekend, we went to a friend's wedding in Pasadena, which was too far away to reasonably get to via public transportation. So this was our most expensive transportation splurge of the month because we took a Lyft to and from the wedding. The ride there was $103.20, and the ride back was $78.96. So my half for the round trip totaled $91.08. The month of May was also unique because I was traveling to New York City for a work and personal trip. So I had to take a Lyft to LAX for my flight, and that cost $38.94. And then while I was in New York City, I took many subway rides to get around. So my total fares for the week was $39.60. I then spent $56.96 on my Uber from LAX when I returned from my trip. The following weekend, there was a street festival going on in Hermosa Beach, so we took the bus there, which cost $1. We then attempted to take the bus on the way back, but apparently the bus was rerouted because of the festival, and we weren't aware. So we didn't realize we had to walk to another street to catch the bus. Because of that, we ended up having to take an Uber back from the festival, which I again split with my partner, so my half was $8.46. That weekend, we also hosted a friend from New York and showed him around Redondo entirely by foot. The following weekend, we hiked the Veterans Park Trail, and we took the bus to the start of the trail, which is in Hermosa Beach, so the round trip for that was $2. And that was everything that I spent on transportation in the month of May. So in total, I spent $44.35 on public transportation and $201.83 on rideshare, for a grand total of $246.18. Now, looking back at the past 5 months of this year so far, on average, I have spent about $172 a month on transportation. So the month of May was a bit higher than my average, which I think is for 2 primary reasons. One is that I was traveling out of state, so I had my trips to and from the airport. And 2 is that we had a wedding that wasn't super local. And that's not a typical distance that we'd be traveling on a monthly basis. But even with those out of the ordinary things, my monthly cost was still under $300, which I think is very reasonable. Again, as a reminder, the average cost of owning a car in Los Angeles, according to AAA, is over $1,000 a month when you account for insurance, fuel, parking, maintenance, etc. So my costs are well below that average. And even when you take into account the fact that I split costs with my partner, if you were to cut that $1,000 in half and say it was $500 a month per person, I'm still well below that average. And I don't think we were deprived of anything this past month by not having a car. Outside of the things that I listed in this video that we went to via public transportation or rideshare, we did plenty of other things that we got to on foot. Date night dinners out, ice cream, brunch, and long walks on the beach. I hope this video showed you that there are real cost savings to be had by not owning a car. And it doesn't mean you have to stay home all the time. We had an active, social, fulfilling month while saving money and hassle by living car-free. If you're interested in seeing more cost breakdown videos like this or other DIY and home decor content, hit that subscribe button. Comment below with a bus emoji if you noticed my mini stuffed bus in the background. My fiance got this for me because it's a replica of my favorite bus line here in Redondo, and I love it so much. Thanks for watching.